think networking, I mean, I know everybody talks about networking and we're not exactly sure what that means. And it just means really friend making. So whenever you hear that word networking, think about I'm just trying to make a friend. Um, so what what that further means is it's about, how do we make friends? We give people things. It's not just receiving. So when you're out there networking, when you're getting to know somebody, you don't want to just ask for something. You want to be able to offer to give something as well. So, it's you can't enter the conversation and say, "Hi, nice to meet you. I need a job," or some version of that. You have to start off saying, "Hi, nice to meet you." Try to figure out what it is you can offer, how you can build a relationship, how you can make friends with somebody, um, so that you're building, again, you're just building that relationship because what happens is it takes 6 to 12 months before somebody is going to be willing to refer you into a job. And what that means is people want to trust someone. So for example, if one of your friends asks you, do you know somebody who does construction, for example, um, you might say, "Yeah, I know 3 people," but your friend's gonna say, "Well, I want somebody that has actually done the work for you." So that happens through experience, through time, when we start referring people out. We don't just refer somebody that we met one time. And that's why you have to build these relationships in advance, so that you have that time to build before someone can refer your name out. One way to start thinking about this is by making a list of the people who can help you, or who you can help, kind of vice versa. Start by making a list. What can I do for the people in my network? And make a list of those individuals where you think you can do something that might help them out. It might be something really small. It doesn't have to be a big grand thing. It could be as simple as, what I love when my friends call me. Like I said earlier, I have a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old. When I have a friend call me and say, um, "I made some korma sabzi. Can I bring it over for you and your family tonight?" They don't even come inside. They just drop it off. That's such a huge help for me, that I don't have to think about that. You can think about the different people be good for your networking, your job networking, and think about what can I do for them so that they'll appreciate it. And that is the beginning of building your network. That person's going to remember you. And when they hear about a job opening or they hear about something that would be good for you, they'll remember that you did something nice for them first and then they'll do it back for you. That's how it works. So it's really about giving and not just receiving. Other ways that you can do informational interviews is, I'm sorry, in virtual networking is through informational interviews. Informational interviews are really helpful when um, you just want to get to know somebody and what they do and be able to say, how did you get there? What do you like about your job? What don't you like about your job? What does somebody need to be successful in your position? So, informational interview does two things, in my opinion. Number one, it helps you um, get to know someone's work and how they got there. And number two, it kind of gives you an opportunity to share with them that you're looking. So naturally, what's going to happen? Ends up happening is um, you will be automatically telling them that you're looking and say, "Oh yeah, this is actually something I'm really interested in doing." And so indirectly you're telling them you're looking for a job, but it's not a direct ask. Because remember, we said that when you first meet somebody, you don't want to directly ask them. So the best way to go about informational interviewing, you can reach out with someone and say, can I have a 15-minute informational interview with you? I just want to get to know more about your industry, your profession, whatever it is. And usually people will respond yes if they think you're just there to get information from them and not going to ask them for anything. Part of virtual networking, we've talked about these coffee dates, happy hours, informational interviews that all have to happen virtually, remotely, where we're not together. One of the best ways to do that is through what we're using here is a Zoom account. So everybody should make sure that they have one. They are Zoom account is free to have. You get a free phone call for 40 minutes if there's more than one person on the call. If it's just you and one other person, it's unlimited. It just has a more professional feel to it. It is easier to use. Everyone's really familiar with it. Its call quality is generally really good as well. So I really recommend that everybody has a personal Zoom account. Um, be patient when you're going through virtual networking. And what I mean by that is just people getting back in touch with you. We're in a really, I don't want to use the word unusual, but it's a unique time right now. Now that we're 4 months into it, about uh, people are getting a little more comfortable in their life, in their new home office, and their new normal. But a lot of people are dealing with different situations that is more than what they were handling before COVID-19 hit us. So just be patient when you do reach out to somebody to set up a phone interview, or I'm sorry, informational interview or a coffee date. Um, expect that it could take them up to 1 week to respond back to you. That's just the era that we're living in right now. Although people are more connected, they also have a lot more on their plate. So don't be discouraged. And I'm not saying everyone's going to take a week to get back to you, but if you don't hear back immediately, don't necessarily be discouraged. Another part of networking is it's really important to remain personal. So, as I said earlier, think about networking as friend making. Think about it as making a long term friend, developing that relationship it before you actually need something. That's what's really important is that, again, if you think about all the people you know and somebody needed to borrow $20 from you, if I came and asked you for $20, let's make the stakes a little higher for $100. If I said, hey, can I borrow $100 from you? You might think, I'm not really sure. We've never actually met before. I've heard, you've heard me speak one time, but if one of your really best friends who you see or talk to once a week comes and asks you for $100 to borrow $100, you'll probably say yes. Why? The reason is there's trust there, right? There's familiarity there. So that same concept applies when we are talking about job networking, when we're talking about people helping us find a job. We want to refer people who we trust. And so the relationship has to be built before the ask can happen. Another way you can just check in and develop that relationship and make friends with someone is if you say, I saw your company's name in the news. I read an article that reminded me of you. It's someone's birthday or anniversary or a child's birthday or a work anniversary. You know that they got that job a year ago. It's always nice to check in and just say, hey, this specific thing happened. It made me think of you and I wanted to check in really quick. And then finally, just be yourself. I think right now we're in a very unique place, unprecedented. Don't place too much pressure on yourself and do what you can. set goals. I think it's really important to have weekly goals and try to achieve those goals, but set realistic goals. Don't expect to accomplish everything on your to-do list in just a few days. That's not really practical, and it sort of has a defeating purpose in that it makes you feel maybe like, um, you're disappointing yourself if you set goals that are too big or too lofty. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit to a little more formal sense of networking, and that's with LinkedIn. So I hope most of you have heard about LinkedIn. I hope you have a profile. You can ask me questions at the end about LinkedIn, but it's really important that you have a LinkedIn profile. Um, there are over 25 million profiles in LinkedIn that are viewed, not actual profiles, just the ones that are viewed, 25 million worldwide. So here's some other facts. If you include a photo, your LinkedIn profile has 11 times like more chances of being seen by other people. 1 out of 3 professionals are on LinkedIn, which is why you need to be there if you are looking for a job. There are about 200 conversations per minute occurring in LinkedIn groups, and I'll talk about groups in a minute. 41% of LinkedIn visits are on phones, on mobile devices, and 1 in 20 profiles belong to recruiters. Recruiters are people like me who are trying to find talent, trying to find people like you. So that's why you need a LinkedIn profile. Oops. Um, so, people often ask me, why should I use LinkedIn? It's you have to sort of first define your goals. What are you trying to get within your business or your career? If you're trying to get noticed, if you're trying to get a job, if you're just trying to stay connected and do what we were talking about earlier, friend making, relationship building, building your network, then you need to be on LinkedIn. It's basically um, networking, like people connecting with one another the way Facebook is, but it's professionals. So this is your work life, not your personal life. So when you get on LinkedIn, you want to ask yourself, who are the people in the best position to help me reach my goals? And those are the people that you want to connect with. So the way LinkedIn works is it's the power of the second degree. What the concept is that, let's say you and I get connected on LinkedIn. Um, LinkedIn believes that the person who can get you a job is not me. The person who can actually help you get a job is someone I know. So by you and I connecting, you now have access to all the people I know. So that is what will help you um, get your next job, is to connect with me and then ask me to introduce you to somebody that you think will be helpful to you that I know. So that's how LinkedIn works. It's the power of the second degree. One of the areas of LinkedIn that's, I think, really useful and helpful is the groups section. So you can type in the search bar what you're looking for. And then if you click on um, the group section, oops, up here, um, that is where you'll be able to see these different groups. You can join them, and then you can be engaged in these other conversations. So, how to prepare for video interviews? Assuming you go through all of this and you are really lucky and and fortunate and are able to get um, an interview right now, The way you want to prepare for them is first, you definitely want to test your technology, make sure everything works, your microphone, your camera. Have an understanding, if possible, beforehand, whether it's going to be just a phone interview or if they are actually using video. So we're going to assume here that they're using video and what you need to do to prepare for that. So even in video, you do need to dress for success. You do need to make sure you are presentable for the video call. Um, Using these new, online tools, you definitely there are some tips to help you look good on the interview, which is still really important, even though we're not in person. Just the psychology of how humans work. I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad, but just the way human beings work. Um, we want people to look presentable, and that's still an expectation even right now during our quarantine, during coronavirus, during virtual interviews. There is an expectation that you still dress properly as if it's a regular in-person interview. So you want to wear solid colors for your video calls. Try to avoid black color and white color shirts. Those tend to be really harsh on the video. Avoid busy patterns. So, a lot of pattern is not helpful. Make sure you're dressed professionally completely from the top to the bottom. I'm sure you've heard many of these stories in the last couple of months that individuals are on video and they're wearing a shirt and a tie and a jacket on top, and then they're wearing, you know, boxers or inappropriate clothing down below from their waist down. And somebody may ask you, the person might ask you, go grab a pen if you forgot a pen, or if you decide to stand up for a minute. So just make sure that you're dressed completely, just in case. I think it also just helps you be more professional when you are dressed completely. So I think it's helpful for that reason. And like I said earlier, make sure you're dressing the same as you would for the in-person interview. Make sure you're creating a good background behind you for the video conference. Make sure everything is clean behind you. Make sure you have good lighting on your face, which I'll talk about in a second. Being near a window is good, or any sort of forward facing light. You always want light to be facing your face when you're on video and not directly above you or from behind you. It creates shadows when you do that. Make sure you remove any distractions. Turn off any TVs, radios, anything that might be in the background. If you live in an area where there are cars driving by or birds or dogs, close all the windows so that you less of that noise comes through as possible. If there's anybody home with you, make sure you let them know that you're going to be doing a video, and if they could keep their noise to a minimum. And then with your cell phone, you want to try to put it on airplane mode. Um, there's a typo there. It says airplane mode on your phone. Again, that way you're not getting distracted with phone calls or texts or things like that. Um, so that would be helpful for you to stay focused. So I was mentioning lighting, and this is really important. As I mentioned earlier, the first picture on the left shows you, the lighting needs to be directly in front of you, and then you want your whatever you're using as your video, whether it's a laptop or your phone, to be directly in front of you. So you might need to elevate it. If you're using a desk, your eye and that computer are there's your eyes are looking down. So you want to find a box or some books or something and elevate your laptop or your phone up so that You're looking directly into it. It's not, the camera's not facing down below. You can see in this picture with this woman, with that, the X is not how you want to be. You want to be, this is the same person. She's wearing this, this is this taken picture minutes apart from each other. So she has the same makeup, same hair, same outfit, everything is the same. It's just the lighting that's different and the position of the camera that's different. So those are the two things that you want to really pay attention to. And as you can see, it really matters, right? It's not just the look, but there's body language happening. This woman, the same picture, the one with the red X on it, the body language, she looks laid back. She looks engaged, right? So this one on the left, I'm sorry, on the right with the green check on it, she looks much more alert and attentive and ready to have a conversation. And that's really, it's just a matter simply of lighting and uh, position and body language. So these are some additional examples of things you can purchase to help you with lighting and position. This light on the left you can purchase from Amazon anywhere from 20 to $60. There's different options. You can also purchase this type of webcam thing that plugs in directly to your phone. So these are just some options to help you, some tools to help you get that achieved look. So let's say you're going through the interview. The other thing you need to do is practice your answers to the common interview questions. The common questions that we get asked, or that recruiters ask during these interviews is, um, there's always the tell me about yourself. So that's always the opening question. And then they may ask you, why are you leaving your current job? If you don't currently have a job, they may ask you why you left your previous job. It's always good to be as honest as possible, maybe not 100% honest. But basically, what a recruiter is looking for in this is that you're not saying anything negative about your previous or your current employer. That's the biggest thing here. So when somebody asks you, why are you leaving your job? Things you might say are, I'm looking for a career advancement. I'm looking, because it's a different, I need a different schedule, or I'm looking because I need something closer to my house, or I need a different schedule. Um, or, my company was having a hard time and they did layoffs, or, you know, I um, I recently moved here and I'm in a job search, right? Those are the reasons why you're looking. The things you don't want to say when they say, why are you leaving your job? Things that are like, I hate my boss is an idiot. Um, I don't agree with the things that they were doing there. Those types of negative things are not the things you want to talk about in the interview. So just be mindful of that. You should also be prepared to answer the question, what are your weaknesses? And good answers for what are your weaknesses should be honest, but not too honest. It's not a therapy session. So, things that are acceptable as your weakness, like you can say, I really like to do things on my own. And sometimes that makes me work very independently. And that can be a weakness when I'm working with a group of people. But my boss has told me about that before, and I know that's an area that I need to improve upon. So, what you always want to do whenever someone asks you about your weakness is you want to talk not only about the weakness, but also what you're doing to correct it, to make it better. If it's, someone told you you're not very good at Excel and now you've taken Excel classes, that's a good weakness answer. So it's not just what do you need to improve upon or what are you not good at? It's what are you doing to correct it? When a recruiter asks you what's your weakness, They're not trying to, be mean to you or find out what you're not good at. They're trying to see if you have what we call self-awareness. Because nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. There are things that I'm really good at, and there are things I'm really bad at. Um, so, w- what the weakness question does is it helps me as a recruiter know, are you self aware and are you coachable? So, if you've been told that's a weakness, do you go back and try to um, find ways to improve on that skill? The worst answer you can give when someone asks you, what's your weakness? Does anybody, if you know what the worst answer could be, type it in the chat here. The worst answer for what is your weakness? This will definitely make you not get the job. And that is the answer. I don't have one. If you say, I don't have one, you won't get the job because um, it's not true. Like it's if you're a human being, you have a weakness. And if you don't think you have one, then you haven't been listening when other people have told you that. And if you haven't been listening to your previous bosses, I, as a recruiter, as a hiring manager, might tell myself, you're not going to listen to me either. So I don't want to hire you because if you haven't if you had never heard your previous boss tell you that you need to improve on something, then you're not going to hear me say it either. So that is absolutely not the right answer. There is no quote unquote right answer. Everyone has to be authentic, but find something that fits for you that you feel comfortable talking about. It's also, like I said earlier, not a therapy session. So I had someone once when I asked them the weakness question, what's an area you want to improve upon? They said, well, I have codependency issues. I take medication for, and I have a hard time leaving my boyfriend, and so that it's borderline therapy, and so you have to be careful that you're not going down that path either. So you still want it to be work related. Um, and that's why I said be honest, but not too honest. We don't have to talk about all of your weaknesses. Just something to answer the question. Another question you should prepare for is, why should I hire you? And in that, you have to just connect the dots. How are you? And you need to answer really what the person is asking is, how are you going to make my business better? How are you going to make my life as your boss easier? For all of us, when we're working, our job is to make our boss's life easier. That is our job. And that's your boss's job is the same thing, to make his or her boss's job easier. So when somebody asks you, why should I hire you? What they're really asking is, how are you going to make my life better, easier? And that's the question you want to answer. So um, you want to say things like, the projects you've described are things I can do, I've done before. I can hit the ground running. I can finish this. You want it done in 5 months, I can get it done in 3 months. So you just want to make sure you're expressing how you're going to make things better and easier for this individual who wants to hire you. And then another question you want to talk about, and one of the things we're going to talk about, is salary negotiations. They may ask you when you're going through a process, what are your salary requirements? And you definitely want to be able to talk about that in an educated way. So when you're looking at negotiating your salary, you're just talking about your salary, you want to um, be able to use statistics. So use realistic numbers, do your research for the industry, know what is normal for that type of work, for where you are geographically, for the state of the general economy. Today exact job may pay less than it did 6 months ago, because the industry and the general economy it has a hit against it. Um, the opposite may be true too. Right now, there are some jobs that are really high demand, and so they may be paying more than what was 6 months ago. So you just definitely want to do your research and know what is going on right now in your industry, um, for the type of job that you are trying to do. And then you want to have a number in mind for yourself, like make a budget, know what it is you need to live on, so that it's not just a number you're just pulling out of the air. You want to know, like, I can live off of this money. If they pay me X amount, if they pay me $20 an hour, I can make that work. I can pay my bills with $20 an hour. Or no, I can't. I need 25. I need 26. This is what I need. Now that's information you just keep for yourself. You know that number. When you go to negotiate, you shouldn't be saying, I need $25 so I can pay my bills. That's not how it works. So I'll give you an example of when you go buy a car. I'm sure you all know that when you buy a car from a dealership, that dealer has a quota. He needs to sell 10 cars that month so that he can get his money to take home and pay his bills, right? Pay his rent, pay his child care, all that, pay his grocery bills. When you go to the and that guy's trying to sell you a car, he tells you about the car. He tells you how this is the perfect car for you. It has all these seats, it has all this technology, it helps you make a right turn or a left turn. He doesn't tell you, you have to buy this car because I need to pay my rent. You probably wouldn't buy the car from him if his selling tactic was, you need to buy it because I need to pay my grocery bills. That's not how he does it. The way he gets people to buy the car is by telling the people how that car is going to help their life, not how it's going to help his life. So, getting back to our presentation today, when you're doing your salary negotiations and you know that you want to make $25 an hour, you don't tell them, I need to make $25 an hour because I need to pay my rent and pay my grocery bills and pay all of that. You tell them, I need $25 because I've done my research, and based on my research, a person in this position, in this geographic area, in this city, is making $25 an hour. That's what my research tells me, and I value myself and I have experience. I've done this for 10 years. So I think that $25 is a very fair and a good, reasonable salary for this position. So um, that's how you go about negotiating salary. Another thing is you never bring up salary first. You always wait for the company to talk about it first. And then if you're working with a big company and you're working with a recruiter or somebody in HR, definitely listen to that person. They're there to help you. The job of a recruiter is to put people in jobs. One of my favorite sayings in recruitment is, a good recruitment is a closed recruitment. That means it's done. You placed somebody there. So we're always trying to make sure people get jobs. So it's, you can listen to them, you can get their advice and follow their lead. So a couple of places that I think you can look for work right now that are pretty, great resources. If you attended a school, college, university here, um, you should definitely look at their career services website. They have a lot of jobs. They're often free listings and give you free access. Even community colleges have them. So you should definitely tap into that as a resource. LinkedIn has job postings, Indeed and ZipRecruiter. A couple of temp agencies are Manpower, Robert Half, Apple One, and Kelly Services. Those are pretty big and popular temp agencies that I would recommend you look into if you're looking for a job right now. I forgot to add on here, but Craigslist is also a very popular place for jobs. And the reason it's still popular is because they let the company place an advertisement for free, and a lot of companies want free advertising. LinkedIn is very expensive. The company has to pay somewhere between $300 to $800 to place a job ad, so that can be expensive. But free places like Craigslist still let them do it for free. So that's another place that is available. These are some of the top employers that are hiring now. This data is from the end of March, so it's about 2 months old, but it's somewhat still relevant. As I'm sure you know, Amazon is hiring a great amount of people. Anthem, which is healthcare industry, actually a couple of these are healthcare industry. They are all hiring. There are a couple of banks on here that are hiring and still growing. So I know we're in a bad job market, but you still have to believe that people are hiring. There are jobs out there. Um, so this is that list. And then um, these are the top 20 types of jobs available. So nurses are, great amount of jobs available. Truck drivers, customer service representatives, software engineers are still really high in demand. Sales representatives, again, nursing, physicians. So medical field is definitely a growing industry if you are in a job search area. And then these are just some of my final thoughts. And after this, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Um, I just wanted to share that asking for help is a sign of strength and not a sign of weakness. As you're going through your job search process at any point, if you're not familiar with something or how something works, please feel free to reach out. I know at PARS, there are a lot of um, resources available through your local cities. There are resources available. Myself, I am a resource available to you. So please, remember that you're not doing this alone. As you go through this process, feel free to reach out and ask for help. One of my favorite quotes is, "You can do anything with a positive attitude better than you can do it with a negative one." So this goes back to what I was saying earlier. I know we're in, um, you know, unemployment numbers are really high, and it's a time when there aren't a lot of jobs available. But if you keep thinking there aren't a lot of jobs available, then that will be your reality. But if you tell yourself there is a job out there for me, that will become your reality. So if you can stay positive, you're going to have a lot more success than somebody who is negative about this concept. And remember, along those lines, even in the best of times, even a year ago when the economy was amazing and the unemployment number was the lowest it had been in so many years, people still heard no. People still didn't get jobs that they applied for. So you're still going to hear no a lot more times than you're going to hear yes. But when you do hear yes, be confident and don't doubt yourself, and know that the right thing is going to work out for you at the right time in the right place. I truly believe that the right thing works out at the right time, in the right way, at the right place. So don't give up, stay positive, don't doubt yourself, be confident. So, with that, I'm happy to stay on and answer any questions about any part of this as you'd like. So, one question's here: how can university students offer value to others when they have no real job experience? Great question. I teach at a university and I've been teaching for 10 years. Um, and get this question all the time. I believe you do have a value. You have to believe you have value. So, number one, you should be engaging in internships so that you are getting some real world experience. Number two, your degree program is probably giving you experience in the area of research and development and what's upcoming. So what college students bring is a fresh perspective, a studied perspective, and really a willingness to do hard work. There, in every organization, there are individuals who are up at the top, and their job is to make decisions and set the vision and the strategy. And sometimes they need people who are willing to, do the grunt work, as they call it. So prepare the Excel sheets and do the calculations. And that's what college students bring to the table. So I think the way you sell it is in that confidence and showing them your passion and your excitement about doing it. Because everyone started one day with no quote unquote real world experience. I hope that answered your question. Are there other questions? I think you can either come online and ask them or put them in the chat.
دوستان توجه کنید که اگر دوست دارید میتونید میکروفونتون رو از حالت میوت در بیارید و سوالاتون رو به صورت فارسی هم بکنید. مشکلی وجود نداره.
Yes.
اگه سوالی هست در خدمتتون هستیم.
سلام، خیلی ممنونم از ارائهتون. سوالی که داشتم این هست که توی مصاحبه با ریکروتر اگر پرسیده بشه که چقدر حقوق میخواید و بگیم که خیلی استریکت نیستیم روی اون و در واقع بیشتر مثلا ویژن کمپانی برامون مهمه، آیا این جواب قانع کننده‌ایه براشون یا نه؟
مرسی واسه سوالتون. Not really، به خاطر اینکه اونا میخوان یه جاب آفر بدن که بدونن شما قبول میکنین. So you have to give them something. It can be a range. You don't have to pick a certain number, but you should do some research if the average salary for that position based on your research using real data is 50 to 70,000, then you should say I would feel comfortable between 55 and 65,000, for example, annually. You have to give them something to work with. Along with that, your answer, you can also say, but I'm negotiable. What's really important for me is the vision your company has. I'm very passionate about working here. Ideally, I'd like my salary to be somewhere between 55 and 65,000. Something like that. You can tell them both, basically, is what I'm saying.
و عملا اگر اون رنجی که میگیم خارج از رنج مورد نظر اونا نباشه، اتوماتیکلی باعث میشه که در واقع ریجکت کنن.
Well, what we're hoping is, like I said, you've done your research, and ideally, rangey که شما میگین should be normal, right? And then به اضافه اونم گفتین که I'm very passionate about your organization. I'm negotiable, whatever you think is fair. But you have to say something to them. Because there should be, the reason I say that is there should be a number that doesn't work for you. Right? Just in terms of your bills and your life and your own value.
خب اگر متفاوت باشه، مثلا اینجا خب رنجی که کمپانی‌ها میگن خیلی متفاوته و میتونه خیلی با هم متفاوت باشه.
What's the industry?
مثلا مال سمی‌کانداکتور.
Okay. What area? Like LA, Orange County, San Diego?
مثلا Bay Area.
LA?
Bay Area.
Oh, Bay. Okay.
مثلا تو مصاحبه مثلا اگه کمپانی کوچیک بشه ممکنه یه 80 تا 90، کمپانی بزرگتر بشه بگید مثلا 150 100 هست و دقیقا ما نمیدونیم که چی تو ذهن اونها هست. پس شاید اگه نتونیم رنج بگیم یا بگیم آقا جن برامون مهمتره، ویژن برامون مهمتره، خیلی استریکت نیستیم روی این تا برسیم تو مراحل بعدی، این استراتژی خوبی نیست به نظر شما؟
به نظر من نه، به خاطر اینکه اونا دارن با مثلا 20 تا 50 نفر دیگه صحبت میکنن و مثلا اگه دارین با یه ریکروتر صحبت میکنین، ریکروتر میخواد ببینه which of the people they're talking to has the greatest chance of taking the job. And شما شاید حرفی که میزنین که واسهتون مهم نیست شاید حقیقت باشه، اما کاری که ما میکنیم با خیلی ها صحبت میکنیم most of the time لحظه آخر وقتی میرسه به آخرین آدم یه دفعه این اتفاق میفته دیگه. میرسیم به آخرین کندیدیت، میایم آفر میدیم، بعد یه دفعه کندیدیت میگه اوه نه من actually این مثلا 60,000 doesn't work for me. And we already spent so much time, right? So when you don't give a number, this is my opinion. I always start these I should have started it like I always do, which is you have to do what's comfortable for you. My opinion and my experience is that you will check off a box for the recruiter that says this is a good candidate. When they know you have your degree, okay, check. They know you have experience, okay, check. Can you fit into their salary that they have in mind? Check. Okay, you're doing, you checked all my boxes. I can pass you along to the hiring manager. But when you leave a question mark and say, I'm willing to take anything, what ends up happening most of the time, those people who say that, in my experience and many of the recruiters I know, they aren't willing to take anything. They just want to postpone the negotiation till the very end. And if I have 50 people to choose from, I don't want to wait till the end to negotiate. I want to know that we're on the same page in the beginning. Does that make sense?
بله ممنونم. و یک سوال دیگه بپرسم اگر فرصت هست. آیا مثلا ریکروترهایی که تماس میگیرن، اطلاعات میگیرن، خیلی هم در واقع مصمم هستن ولی بعد از اون که اطلاعات گرفتن دیگه ایمیل جواب نمیدن، اینا رو باید دوباره ایمیل زد، زنگ زد، هیچ کاری نکرد، چه روشیه؟
I believe in follow-up. I definitely recommend that you follow up.
It doesn't make us so pushy?
Well, I think the number of times you follow up is what makes people come across as pushy. So I'd say like 2 times follow up and leave a space of 1 week between the follow up, right? So, you call someone, if you talk to somebody today, if you don't hear from them in a week, call them or email them, whatever you feel comfortable. If you don't hear again, do the same thing 1 week later, and you can do both at that time, call and email. And then after 2 times, then I would just let it go.
ببخشید من یک سوال میپرسم.
Sure.
من از ایران دارم توی این میتینگ شرکت میکنم و برنده لاتاری 2020 شدم. مصاحبه رفتم، گفتن که باید جاب آفر داشته باشی. میخواستم ببینم که حالا من تحصیلاتم اقتصاد هست، دانشجوی دکترا اقتصادم و کار حسابرسی انجام میدم داخل ایران. خواستم ببینم اصلا شانسی برای من هست که از این روش ها استفاده کنم و جاب آفر پیدا بکنم برای خودم تا بتونم به پرونده خودم اضافه بکنم برای برنده شدن و ویور شدن در این پروسه لاتاری، یا اینکه نه شانسی ندارم که از این روش ها برای جاب آفر استفاده کنم.
First of all, congratulations on your lottery. And Second, with regard to getting a job, I'm not an expert in that particular area. I think there are people, maybe PARs can help you better, connect you with people who have gone through that process and have more experience. I think in your situation, my opinion is that you probably would need ashana, somebody who would be willing to maybe give you like a remote internship or something of that nature, to do some work or research or something that can be done remotely, which is very common right now. I think that would be your best bet.
خب اگر من این روش رو استفاده کنم آیا با این
ببخشید صداتون قطع شد.
شانسی برای من هست که تو مصاحبه هم در واقع اون جاب کانترکت رو اخذ بکنم ازشون؟
ببخشید یه بار دیگه تکرار کنین، صدای شما قطع شد. اگه میشه یه بار دیگه تکرار کنین سوالتون رو، ببخشین. مثل که نیستن. سوالشون رو دقیقا نشنیدم.
من میتونم فکر میکنم سوالشون این بود که آیا واقعا شانسی دارن برای اومدن، یعنی شانسی دارن که با توجه به اینکه ایران هستن بتونن یه جاب آفر پیدا کنن با توجه به اینکه سوابق زیادی توی اکانتینگ دارن و دانشجوی پی اچ دی هستن یا نه؟
سخت من جواب بدم.
ببخشید به خاطر قطعی اینترنت من کلا دیسکانکت شدم، الان دوباره صدا اومد. حالا متوجه نشدم تو این فاصله چه صحبتایی مطرح شد. من می‌خواستم ببینم حالا فرضاً من یه آشنایی رو یا یک با ایمیل و بالاخره این لینک این یا روش‌های دیگه با یه جایی کانکت شدم، آیا اصلا این پروسه مصاحبه و روش‌هایی که برای جذب نیرو دارن من از اینجا میتونم این پروسه رو موفقیت آمیز طی بکنم؟ اصلا میشه روی این پروسه حساب کرد برای شخصی مثل من؟
اینو خیلی معذرت میخوام، من واقعا کسی نیستم که بتونم واسهتون جواب با اطلاع بدم. I'm not very familiar, but just آدمای مختلف که خودم میشناسم میدونم که آدمایی هستن که از طریق لاتری اومدن و از طریق اینی که کار گرفتن اومدن، ولی خودم I'm not very familiar with the process or how it works. I don't know if somebody at PAR, if there's someone at PARs you can connect with who has more familiarity with this process.
اوکی، مرسی، ممنونم.
خواهش میکنم.
دوستان کسی دیگه سوالی داره؟ Any other question?
من سلام عرض میکنم خدمت همه عزیزان و تشکر میکنم از وبینار خوبتون. یه سوالی دارم مرتبط با موضوع منطق، شاید خارج از این موضوع دقیق باشه. آیا اگر کسی بتونه خلق کار بکنه، یعنی کارآفرینی بکنه، طرح و ایده های خوب هم داشته باشه، اینها چگونه میتونن ارتباط برقرار کنن با سرمایه گذارانی که اینجا هستن؟ آیا اصلا شما در این خصوص هم وبیناری برگزار میکنید یا اینکه در همین جلسه میتونید راهنمایی بکنید در این خصوص یا خیر؟ به خصوص برای کسانی که امریکا مقیم هستن.
Sorry, I'm going to need a translation on that. I think there was something about volunteer working.
یه دفعه دیگه لطف میکنم سوالتون رو یکم آرومتر بفرمایید.
بله حتما اگر لطف بفرمایید پاسخ بنده رو هم فارسی بدید متشکر میشم. عرض میکنم که ببینید الان شما دارید میگید که میخوان برن مصاحبه های کاری انجام بدن، یعنی قطعا یه شرکتی وجود داشته باشه که برن اشخاص اونجا مصاحبه بدن و کاری رو پیدا بکنن و اونجا استخدام بشن. اگر کسی باشه که خودش بتونه خلق کار بکنه، صاحب ایده باشه، ایده زیادی داشته باشه و باید بیاد اینجا کارشو انجام بده، با توجه به اینکه به هر حال آوردن سرمایه از ایران به امریکا کار طبیعتاً سختیه با توجه به شرایط و حالا محدودیت‌های پولی که وجود داره، اینجا طبیعتاً باید سرمایه گذارانی رو پیدا بکنه که طرح خودش رو به اونها ارائه بده. آیا در حال حاضر شما اون شرکت ها، اون اشخاص رو، حالا یا ممکنه شرکت های حقوقی باشن یا اشخاص حقیقی باشن، میشناسید؟ آیا وبیناری در این خصوص برگزار میکنید؟ چه پیشنهادهایی در این خصوص شما دارید؟
من خودم شخصا نمیشناسم دقیقاً این جور کمپانی، از نظر اینکه وبینارهای دیگه اونم دوستان از پارسی کوالیتی میتونن جواب بدن.
اوکی. ما چگونه میتونیم باهاشون ارتباط برقرار کنیم با عزیزان در پارس؟
ببخشید من جواب سوالتون بدم.
بله خواهش میکنم.
فاینانسور میگردید، سرمایه گذار احتمالاً.
بله.
ما در این زمینه نمیتونیم بهتون کمک کنیم. شما تو این زمینه باید حالا میتونید گوگل سرچ کنید شرکت هایی که کار فاینانس انجام میدن روی ایده جدید، یا بعضی از افراد هم حتی هستن که این کار انجام میدن، ولی متاسفانه مرکز برابری پارس چنین امکان رو در حال حاضر
گفتم شاید وبیناری برگزار کنید و راههای دسترسی به این افراد حقیقی یا حقوقی رو بتونید معرفی بکنید.
متاسفانه فعلا برنامه رو نداریم، ولی ممکنه
ان شاء الله. متشکرم.
سال دیگه اگه دوستان هست در خدمتتون هستیم.
الو، سلام علیکم، خسته نباشید. من یک سوالی داشتم از ایشون که من فکر می‌کنم به همه ما که دنبال کار می‌گردیم خیلی کمک کنه. ماها کلا توانایی ماهای مختلف داریم و ممکنه کارهای مختلف رو بتونیم انجام بدیم. ما چجوری تشخیص بدیم که چه کاری رو میتونیم پیدا کنیم؟ شغل‌های مختلف، بیزینس‌های مختلف و اکسپریانس‌های مختلف داریم. مثلا نمی‌دونیم تو چه رشته‌ای میتونیم، من هممون بگردیم که اینو بلدم تو این مثلا سرتیفیکیت دارم، این اکسپریانس دارم. خب این برای ما یه راهی رو گم کردیم. تو این لیسانس دارم یا تو این مثلا فوق لیسانس دارم، این یه مقدار ماها گم کردیم که اصلا اینجا ما کجا بریم، یعنی کدوم شغل رو بگردیم پیدا کنیم، کدوم شغل ممکنه به ما بهتر جواب بده. خیلی ممنون میشم در این مورد توضیح بدید.
Sure. Well, I mean, واسه این سوال فقط مال شما نیست. من با بچه های دانشگاه که صحبت میکنم اونام همین سوال رو دارن. یه سری آدمایی هستن که بعد از 10 سال میگم من اصلا نمیخوام این کاری که 10 سال دارم میکنم نمیخوام انجام بدم. واقعا باید ببینین چی هست که خوشحالتون میکنه، چی هست که صبحها که بیدار میشین دلتون میخواد برین سر کار، برین اونجا. وقتی فکر گذشته‌تون رو میکنین به چه کاری هست که میکردین که واقعا خنده میاد روی صورتتون. It makes you happy. You were happy at that time. Those are the things that you should pursue. به قول شما هممون خیلی کارا هست میتونیم انجام بدیم، اما کدومشون واسمون خوشحالی میاره و یه احساس purpose. I don't know what that is in Farsi, but you know, it makes you feel fulfilled. Like I did something good for someone else today. I helped someone. Another thing you can think about is, what problem do I want to solve in the world? If you ask yourself that question, what problem do I want to solve in the world? That will help you narrow what is it that you like doing? What is it that you're passionate about? What is it that helps you feel purpose? And then pursue those things. Now you have to also remember there's a logistical side too. You know, we want to work for the income, for the money, because we want to pay our rent and we want to buy our groceries. So you also have to think about, what do I like to do that is a job that exists? Like I said earlier, one of the industries that's really growing right now is healthcare. Right to healthcare, there's a lot of different areas that are that could be of interest to you. So as a doctor, there's a nurse, there's people who just work on the phone. There's, social work. So there's many different avenues just within the healthcare industry, if you're looking for things that are hiring specifically.
Okay, thank you so much.
سال دیگه هست دوستان؟ خب اگه سال دیگه ای نیست، من تشکر میکنم از همه دوستانی که به جمع ما پیوستن تو این بعد از ظهر و خیلی ویژه میکنم از خانم آگی نش که اطلاعات خیلی مفیدی دادین. اطلاعات برای خود من هم جالب بود به عنوان حالا کسی که توی زمینه دارم فعالیت میکنم. امیدوارم که همه دوستان هم استفاده کرده باشن. یه سال توی چت هست، اگه آفرینش امکانش هست
Sure.
وقت دارید که بدید.
Sure. Do we have to dress professionally when doing informational interview? Not like you would a real interview, but still, appropriate attire as if you were going to go to, someone's house or meet them for coffee at Starbucks. I would say maybe that should be the standard, right? Like if you were going to meet for coffee, how would you dress? You wouldn't dress like an interview, but you also wouldn't dress like you're going to sit at home and watch TV. So somewhere in between there. Yeah, you're welcome.
عذر میخوام من مجدد مزاحم میشم. یه سوالی داشتم از همین مؤسسه‌ای که در واقع همین مؤسسه پارس اگه اشتباه نکنم، میخواستم ببینم که به من توی این قضیه جاب آفر میتونن کمک بکنن برای همین بحث لاتاری که گفتم یا نه؟ مرسی.
ما متاسفانه نه، در مورد جاب آفر نمیتونیم کمک کنیم، چون اونا باید برای یه ویزای خاص براتون اپلای کنن. و این نکته هم تاکید کنم که در حال حاضر فکر میکنم بیش از 30 میلیون unemployed یا بیکار توی آمریکا وجود داره و خب به تبع اون صدور ویزای کاری فکر میکنم از همیشه سخت‌تر باشه. It's very hard I think to get a visa like that. نمیدونم نظر شما چیه خانم؟
I would agree that it's definitely a hard time, but I also believe in the law of attraction. If you really want it, you need to go after it and look for it in every avenue. I don't think it's impossible. You just have to find the right people. باید یه نفر چندین نفر پیدا کنین که از توی این پروسس رفتن و بتونن شما رو راهنمایی کنن. این من خودم هیچ اطلاعی در موردش ندارم، ولی مطمئن هستم که میتونین پیدا کنین کسایی که رفتن through this process. And اول صحبت هم گفتم که خیلی از چیزا به خاطر ریفرال انجام میشه و شما اگه بتونین یکی توی نتورک خودتون پیدا کنین که شما رو میشناسن یا indirectly شما یکی رو میشناسین و اون آدمه یکی رو میشناسه second degree, I believe that's possible. ولی there is a huge amount of unemployment right now, but so just putting, apply, you can't expect to just apply for jobs. It's not going to happen like that. But if you start growing your network and talking to people and telling people this is what you're looking for, and if it's really what you want in your heart, I believe you can make it happen.
ببخشید من میتونم جواب این آقایی که از ایران با تلفن سوال جواب کوتاه بهشون بدم؟
بفرمایید ولی لطف کنید
راهنمایی. یه گروهی هست توی تلگرام به نام ایرانیان مقیم لس آنجلس برای کارفرماها و اونایی که دنبال کار میگردن. اگه ایشون بتونن تو اون سایت یعنی تو اون سایت تلگرامی اسم خودشون رو جوین کنن و اونجا این مسئله رو مطرح کنن، احتمالاً کارفرمایی هستن که بخوان بهشون کمک کنن.
خیلی ممنون، متشکرم از راهنمایی خوبتون.
خواهش میکنم.
اوکی، ممنون از همه دوستان. شما خانم آفرینی سوالی صحبت دیگه ندارید؟
نه، مرسی از این موقعیتی که this opportunity that you gave me to share this information. امیدوارم که کمک کرد بهتون و it was helpful and informative for you.
Actually, it was our pleasure. خیلی از شما ممنونیم که این فرصت رو به ما دادید و امیدواریم که بتونیم توی برنامه‌های بعدی هم باز در خدمتتون باشیم و اطلاعات مفیدتون استفاده کنیم.
مرسی.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
ممنون از کلاس‌های خوب آموزشی شما و گروه پارس، بسیار عالی مفیده. مرسی.
خواهش میکنم. خوشحالم که در خدمتتون هستم.
بسیار عالی، مرسی.
خواهش میکنم. خداحافظ.